Yeah, it's basically guaranteed that they get their profit share first and we take the leftovers.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that the leftovers are
enough
as
for
high
us
as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we do all this work also to sort of pay ourselves. So if we are naturally incentivized to find good deals and minimize risks. Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, and on our channel we share property investing tips and also document our project updates. So today we are going to share with you the numbers of our recently completed project on King Street. So all the older videos of King Street are all documented here in this playlist. Just click the link up here. And yeah, today we're going to share with you the numbers. There is a set of predicted, estimated numbers and also reality numbers, because now we have sold the property, we have the accurate numbers that we have now.
So yeah, let's just get started with it. When we bought it, we thought we would buy it for a purchase price of 66,000, which turned out to be right. Nothing changed on that. But yeah, after that we have a couple of changes. Then we go into the refurb and furnishing. And in the beginning, of course we estimate certain amounts based on how much have we spent on previous projects, but then we slap on a contingency in case it's it's overrunning, which it clearly did a bit. And our all-in number was at 162,000 pounds for that, which is, if you see, purchase price 66, but then refurb for 160, it's almost 3 times the purchase price.
Yeah, you can buy 3 of these properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would be surprised to see that we actually came in bang on with 160,000 into this, but which means we had to use our contingency of 10%, which obviously it's a contingency, we don't know what we will spend it for, but we already mentioned we spent 10 grand on our sprinkler system, and that just took our whole contingency there.
If you want us to go into detail of how we come to spending 160,000 on the whole refurb, if you want the detailed breakdown, comment below and we can make a video on it.
Yeah, then we thought of having other costs of around 14,000 initially. So that is, we need an architect, we need plannings, we need plans, we need to go through planning as well, get structural surveys,
structural engineer, drawings, calculations.
So that was our budget of having around 14,000.
Yeah.
It turned out to be quite more expensive, and it was 23,000. So that's a good 9,000 pounds more right there. We've estimated to spend around about 242,000 when we bought that deal, and it turned out to cost us around 249,000. So which is...
We're not too far off.
Not too far off, yeah.
Which is pretty good for a project of this size, because we know of other investors, other developers who have ran over by a lot. They end up, making losses or breaking even. So I think we are pretty bang on with our numbers.
Yeah, and that was, as we've mentioned in our videos before, we had our build team before, we had comparables of other refurb quotes before, so that helped in getting this quite accurately. But where we were a bit off was in the end value, which is not a bad thing. So we originally estimated an end value of around 300,000 for this project. So spend 242,000 and have it valued at 300,000 or sell at 300,000.
So why did we estimate it at 300,000? It's based on the valuation figure that investor has gotten on the scheme that he has completed. His is a exact comparable, is a like-for-like comparable. We should be able to get a valuation of 300,000 after all the works. But
as it turns out, we actually got a sales price, so not a valuation, but an actual sales price of 375,000. So which is a good 75 grand more than we actually expected.
Yeah.
Which brings up our profit figure from an expected 58,000 up to 126,000, which is, of course, we're over the moon with that.
Absolutely.
Because all those struggles that we've detailed in one of our videos finally paid off when we sold it, and it was actually worth it going through all those struggles.
Definitely.
Yeah. And well, since we're always looking at numbers, and we always mention that we're looking around about the 25% ROI. So on this project, we were expecting 24%, but it turned out to be closer to the 50%, which is, of course, great.
Happy days.
We're not complaining. Of course, we didn't know about those numbers while we were going through all those struggles. And we were always expecting that we would sell it for around 300,000. Yeah, so just a quick explanation here. So you take the all-in costs of 249,000 and we basically have a profit of 126,000. So you divide those two numbers and you end up at around about 50%.
And another good thing is because we have a better specs than our neighbors, so we could charge a higher rent to our tenants. So that also improves the cash flow of this property, and in turn, that also then influences the sales price because higher cash flow, higher rents, it then gives the higher value to selling the property.
Yeah. So we were expecting a rent roll of 3,200 a month, with a cash flow of about 1,500, 1,540 per month. But in reality, we had a rent roll of 4,000 pounds per month, and well, with an expected cash flow of around about 2,000. But because we never got a mortgage and remortgaged it, our cash flow was a bit more than that. It was higher than that because we never mortgaged it, and the new buyer also doesn't mortgage it, so we don't know what the mortgaged cash flow is. But definitely we know that the rent has increased from 3,200 to 4,000, which in the end affected our sales price positively.
Yeah. So maybe you are wondering why we decided to sell such a nice cash flowing, high rent performing investment property. I have explained it in another video. I'll link it up here why we are selling our HMOs. So give it a watch. And
yeah, so maybe the final point is, so why is our criteria always around 25%? When we go into a deal, it's because we pay our investors around about the 6 to 8% mark. So we want to make sure there's enough buffer on there. So on this example, if we borrowed the whole 250,000 from an investor at 8%, that means there's, 8% of 250,000 is how much? There's almost 20,000 pounds in interest that we have to pay to an investor because we have a contract with them. So if our profit is now higher, the investor is still getting the 20,000 pounds interest, but our profit on our end is a bit higher. And that's what we always say, our investors come first.
We always pay them first.
Yeah, it's basically guaranteed that they get their profit share first and we take the leftovers. So we want to make sure that the leftovers are
enough for us,
as high as possible.
Because we do all this work also to sort of pay ourselves. So if we are naturally incentivized to find good deals and minimize risks, so there is enough left over to pay ourselves as well.
Yeah, so in this project, there's clearly enough left to pay ourselves as well. The investor is getting their share first, as always, but well, our share is clearly there as well.
So that's it. We have come to the end of reflecting on this project. If you have any other questions relating to this project, leave some comments in the comment section down below, and make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. See you on the next project. Bye bye.
Bye.